team for keeping with the tradition of the OPEC seminar since its creation years and years and decades ago. And I'm happy to see that the theme of a just energy transition is definitely part of the theme here this year. When it comes to Morocco, I think we are Wednesday today, so today I'm in a business as usual mode, let's say. And in business as usual mode, what it means for a middle-income country like Morocco that is expected to work on its own sustainable development path, while at the same time helping the world and its neighbors in Europe and Africa winning this transition. It means that I have to multiply the pace of investments by 3 in renewable energy, and by 5 in grids, and by 5 in traditional energy. That's exactly what it means annually. So for me, every day, especially on Wednesdays, it means that I have to push on the reforms of public enterprises, ensure that we have fiscal terms that are attractive for the private sector and for the right type of the private sector that is required in the different areas of the value chain, and making sure also that we are decentralizing decision-making processes so that the 12 regions of Morocco benefit from this transition. Tomorrow it will be Thursday, and I'll be back in Morocco, and I will not be in a business as usual mode anymore. It will be pragmatic as never and ever before, which means that I need to add 16 gigawatts of electricity capacity in my system. I need to ensure that energy efficiency has some AI, because that's $10 billion of investments that needs to be added, and tens of thousands of jobs in the energy efficiency space. And the third key part, and I'm thankful to our colleagues and friends from Nigeria for mentioning that, is regional connectivity. We have $25 billion of capex that needs to be invested in making sure that West Africa, Europe, and Morocco in between have access to clean form and affordable energy. And well, I think there are 2 aspects to keep in mind there. And I think, well, first we have more than 15 years of experience in managing and developing and financing projects in the new technology space, and more than 30 years of experience in attracting private finance in the wider energy space. So there are some lessons that we have learned from that. One of those lessons is to ensure that, as someone was saying in the previous panel, don't be too dogmatic on your energy mix, and make sure that if the projects are being financed by the private sector, that they are bankable. Now, having said that, I really much echo what other panelists were saying early on. We are really at that interesting time, and that's the second reason why I'm thanking OPEC for gathering us here today, because I think it's the first time in history where energy is not the conduit of inflation. The militarization of the world, the geopolitical tension that is happening here today, the financial pressures in price risks as well that are impacting inflations, which actually cannot enable ministers and politicians like myself and others in this panel to really focus on their job at hand. So to be able to, and I'm getting to the answer to your question, that in order to be able to de-risk those projects, I think at the end of the day, private sector, the government, and the banks have to really look into how can we ensure that the countries, like if I take the example of West Africa, you have 400 million people who do not have access to electricity and do not have access to jobs that will come from the gas being flared today in Nigeria, in West Africa, etc. So the fact that we are putting our forces together to de-risk those projects that are very efficient from a capital perspective and from a financing perspective, I think it's high time that we set the geopolitical aspects and the political aspects aside and focus on financing those projects.